It is November 28th, 2021. I'm sitting in a New York outer area, county of Queens, in a Bayside station of New York, reporting to Quantum State for my quintessential betrothed and love that I'm trying to get back to. Last known eHarmony, 4-letter word was Eric. For Special Task Force Mark. I'm in New York, where there's been displayed on a news program, not a Hollywood film. It's a different type of journalism that they use, but I am not clear on the process since I'm in an ozone that is bipartisan. It feels like there's a shared bloodline of ozone on either side of the North America to Pacific over the two oceans, since it's a sphere in the northern hemisphere. And I'm on the Mount Rushmore monetary system side at the moment. It's where I was delivered. That's the Black Hills of South Dakota for Blackwater. That sometimes doesn't always know our monumental position. That defines my New York state of mind, being Department of Homeland Security resident. And I'm the one who has relatives on the face of the monetary currency and carved into the, I don't know if it's quartz crystal caverns, the hills in the west towards the Pacific Ocean, for important things. There are some faces that have entered Bayside Station and the city of New York that do not, that are not, let's just say in one of the four faces, they're not the lineage or heritage of the four faces that are found on our currency or the stone wall or the Black Hills of South Dakota. While I do have lineage, because I can tell by my face and by the silver that it is so, for an anchor of reality. There was a television show, so on this broadcast journalist television show, I confirmed with a local FDNY who has apparently, I found out, international protocol, fire codes, whatever. He said it was actually the building, because I just said a municipality building because I had never been in it, I didn't know. He said it was City Hall, and I was like, well, that's a significant monumental place that, again, I've never been to. Since while I'm in this ozone, I'm in a position, I don't know if you call it shut out or shut into something, like into a room that doesn't have, it has 4 walls in it, and it's located in a physicality, but I have not been invited into safety measures, or partaking in anything concerning the most crucial, important anchors of this homeland. So they removed, I don't know whom to address this, but I was not present. I saw a almost like a crane. I didn't see the operator of the crane because the broadcast journalist camera person only got the statue on a harness being removed off of Thomas Jefferson. I think earlier I made a mention to Lincoln, so I redact that. It was Thomas Jefferson's what they said on the news piece. And so that is a very big concern because that is almost like the locals pulling an alarm saying that they're removing constitutional rights, but they're not as non-monetary value, like on the system that United States and North America was built on. They're not allowed to just remove such figures of importance that are the anchors and backbone of the homeland that has heritage and national expectation. There is a system, an inner system that has to be upheld and and honored. There was a movie Lewis just put on. It came out September 10th, 2021. It's called Kate, Kate. It looks like it takes place in this theoretical version of what they're calling Japan. I do not know for certain. I've never been to anything in the Pacific. And it has a lot of neon lights in it, though, bright lights. And I cannot tell by the face of the people that they cast as characters in the movie if that is really where the people are from either, because again, the education over here, I was not given an accepted book of phonics and letters that are appropriate when addressing such high important things at diplomatic. And I am stuck in an ozone of Democrats at the moment. And I'm being withheld from even the Republic that I need in order to advise what is the agreed upon socially acceptable phrases and terms and which what have you. I'm unclear. So in this movie Kate, there is a gentleman, a doctor, who meets with the actress named Kate, and he announces to her that she's been poisoned with acute radiation syndrome, ARS. I have this nagging feeling, NAG, with an unidentified flying object, a UFO importance, that there's more to this movie symbolically, but again, it scares me to even make reference within this context because I'm supposed to be safely secured within an A zone, and I'm currently feel as though in Bayside I'm in an ozone exposure, which scares me. Not only of the Omicrons being the dome light or like a xenon light on the emergency vehicles, they installed a second light bulb. They went from LED and halogen to a xenon light that is a tactical light for optical disruptor with the neuropathy. So this way it stuns you and it stops you, which is not a population friendly lighting. It seems very aggressive, but that's what the locals have installed without my approval, as they also removed the figure of Thomas Jefferson. So that's concerning. In this movie, there's a reference of this theoretical woman named Kate in this theoretical situation, and she happens to use a handgun. I am only going to say that I've been at the local park, I have asked people with water guns not to point any gun-related reference towards my son or myself, that it is not appropriate, and I do not appreciate that in mixed company. I don't think it's a good idea. So that is that. I don't want to be put in harm's way, and I will not put others in direct face-to-face dangerous situation. I'm a peaceful resident of Bayside Station. I walk with an umbrella for a reason, and that is it. So it says, not plutonium, but polonium, POLONIUM 204 was the reference. I have no idea what that reference is to, other than it feels very polygamy or polygamete, in a linear fashion that I was dragged through while I'm being shut in to the ozone and shut out of A zone, but not necessarily A zone's fault. There's a lot going on in the ozone that I'm unaware of, and it is a scary endeavor, considering I've been scarred on my body with feature that was carved into my skin while I was unconscious. And I've had several scary encounters with local police and ambulance and their very pushy method for retaining somebody who's totally innocent without paper, warrant, or justice system of any kind. I don't understand how people want their constitutional rights to be upheld when they're in complete violation of someone else's. It makes no sense to me at the moment. Star 1978, Star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxies, Broken. And Lewis and Linda also watched a second movie this morning, something called I think it's The Company or whatever. Not Swarovski, but there was not Belichick. There was a very famous Russian ballerina, or I think that's what Llewellyn called him. And he eludes me at the moment, the name. But that was an interesting conversation with Llewellyn this morning, too, because it gets very confusing from my end I'm like, there's so many holes in the plot. Between the guy in the back who's hidden in the bubble session, and then the CIA guys. There's a bunch of CIA guys, I call them the sports league. And then there's the guy up in the quiet dark. When he turns the light on, he scares the absolute bejesus out of you, and that's the US guy. And I was like, thank God there's one of him in the room. So anyway, so that's the end of it. So it's Bayside Station. 1 second. Bayside, New York, 11361.